etc. And a small Waterland tub holds what, like maybe like 13 gallons of water or some
Yeah, unless
ridiculously
you,
small
Yes.
amount, right? So, right the weekend before Christmas, I started removing I removed the water, and then I started removing all the sand as we, got into Christmas break, and then I've been trying to get myself, like, in the past. It's always been like set aside this big chunk of time to, like, build a habitat, right? And so I don't have that time right now with the Saturday dialysis runs and all that kind of stuff. So I've been trying to get myself in this ability where I can just do what I can do in an hour, right? And so, like, with this one, I've just been kind of like doing just little bits here or there. And so over the last 3 weeks, I got it. I had it nearly finished on Sunday and realized the one remaining PVC part I thought I had, I didn't have. So I stopped at the hardware store on my way home today, literally screwed in the plug that seals up the intake, and fired up the filter. So within the next day or two, I'll put some more turtles in it and go from there. So
Nice. I know that
Wow, that's
feeling.
awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And so now I have two that are identical to that one now, and then I have two that are very similar. The filtration is just a little different on the two oldest ones. So that's one of my next projects, is to update the filtration on those two to improve them. But I think I'm going to build another nesting box for a map turtle habitat before I do that. Oh, I also got a bunch more cameras to start putting on more habitats for before nesting season begins as well.
Oh,
So
that's awesome.
pretty
You
excited
use
about that.
you use Arlo
I've been using
cameras, right?
Arlo, yeah. Yep.
Now,
Yeah, they had a big year-end sale, and so I got like a dozen of them for, I think, about the same amount I got for several, like almost half dozen years ago or whatever. So, and they're better cameras than I got then too.
now when you use those, do you have to have some kind of like sync module to as like the home base for all those cameras?
So the older ones required a home base kind of thing. Some of the newer ones do not. I actually plan to run them through the home base thing anyway, because I can also store the video locally instead of having to use their cloud service. So
Interesting. That was my question is could you have them all together, and how many can you have together before you need like a second home base thingy?
So I don't know the answer to that particular question, so we're going to find that out. I wasn't able to find out a hard, fast answer, so we'll see what happens. Ultimately, a couple of them that I got are actually going to go on the house, and I'm just going to connect them directly to the Wi-Fi and use them as part of the house security with the doorbell camera. So we'll see how many the base module can successfully talk to and go from there. So
That's cool.
yeah.
Yeah. And these go to your phone? Like, can you check
So
that?
you can web browser, phone, you can look at it from anywhere. There have been times actually at school, I'll pull up the web interface and I'll put it up on the board so while kids are working, they can watch the turtles bask and stuff.
for anybody that's watching
I like
out
that.
there, when they're talking about the Arlo cameras, this is not a sales pitch by any means. I just want to let you know, my company has a deal on them for like $50 each right now if you have like the service with it too. That's at
Which
T-Mobile. So
model?
any of your local T-Mobile stores will do that. Oh, which
Which
model? It's the
model camera?
Arlo Go 2, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's an LTE like backup one.
Yeah, that's cool. Nice.
Do you have Arlo cameras, Kevin?
No, I use the Eufy cameras, EUFY. They're less expensive. I'm not using them. I don't have anybody that's breeding right now. It's more just me to log in and make sure no one's like flipped over or stuck in a water
Yeah.
dish, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny. I use Blink, so we all have different stuff. Emily,
Yeah.
do you use any cameras?
No, I don't.
No.
We
Well,
don't
if you have
here.
if you have questions, we can all answer about 3 of the leading companies. So,
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I like the ones I have. Usually I get like 4 of them for like $120. I just bought a bunch more to add more cameras up as well. I just haven't gotten the time to put them up yet.
Do all of yours
Yeah, I'm
store the
I'm
data?
dropping more than that, but that's kind of the normal
Yeah.
normal way we do things, right,
Yeah.
Anthony?
No, Arlo's high quality. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it has the reliability factor for me, which is, you know,
Emily asked if they all store data, which I know mine does. If it sees movement, especially, it's really good with like cars and
Yeah.
people and things like that.
Mhm.
It's not that good at understanding what behavior in a star tortoise I want to have recorded, or what type of behavior in a nesting area I want to have recorded. But it is good. Sometimes you'll catch something because you'll have like a nesting area where a turtle doesn't normally go, and then all of a sudden it's up there a lot. So it starts to record little clips, and you can
Yeah.
see based on that behavior what's going on,
Right.
and that maybe there's something
Yeah.
I need to take a closer look at, or maybe there's a
Mine-
female I should palpate.
Yeah, mine most successfully record like their time like getting into position on the nesting area, but a lot of times once those girls get into position, their actual above ground movement is so little, right, that the camera doesn't regularly activate, even though I've got the sensitivity at like 95% or something like that. But, typically during next nesting season, I can also count on a bunch of the other turtles hopping up and down the basking log. So it still gets lots of little bits of the turtle on land because all the other turtles moving up and down the basking log trigger the motion sensor. And then, so like, to answer your question, Emily, they, a lot of them, they have settings like sensitivity setting, and then you can actually tell it what to do if it senses motion. Record for how long, send an alert, don't send an alert, just record, lots of different options. So we even went so far as to get the doorbell camera this fall for our front door as well. And then I eventually figured on using some Arlo for the house, which is one reason why I chose it for the turtles, is because I could eventually just run it all through the same thing instead of having to like have different accounts and whatever else. So
Yeah.
Are all three of yours wireless too?
Mine are wireless. Yeah.
You can choose either with Blink. There's really cheap
Right.
wired ones that are really
Yeah.
cheap.
Oh,
But
that's
there's
what sorry, excuse me. Yeah, that's what I meant. My things are wired, but the internet is wireless to it.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
got it. Okay.
One thing that I think is
Yeah,
really
mine
cool
are-
for outside is that the Blink cameras have different options. So like they have like a lighted floodlight, so you can have that like
Yeah.
over a pen. So if a raccoon comes in, the bright light comes on, and then also you'll get
Yeah.
footage of that as well, so you can see what's
Right.
happening.
Yeah, these new ones I got have a spotlight feature on them. So
It's pretty cool.
yeah.
So your
Good
turtles
I have-
are just minding their own business in the middle of the night, and then suddenly there's a floodlight on them.
Yeah. So I have mine, and this is going to lead to a quick little, I think, a funny story. But I have mine set on a continuous record. So I usually get about 4 days before it starts overriding stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, okay.
That's the
And
benefit
then-
of wired ones.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice in that aspect.
That's a lot of footage.
Yeah, so I don't go through it all the time, but usually if something's like a miss, something's weird in there, I'll check it to see what happened or whatnot. Or if I'm like laying down at night, I can't sleep, I'll put it up on the TV and like speed it up like 16x and just watch them run around all day, which is pretty fun. They move around a lot more than people consider.
That's
but
funny.
the other day I go down there and I had this banana tree that I purchased over the summer, end of the summer, that I loved. It was beautiful, and I go in there and it's gone. And they had knocked it down. Somehow they knocked it down. I had it clamped on, and they knocked down the entire pot and ate
And they
everything
ate
down
it.
right to like the base.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, who did this? I want to know which one did this. So I go to check the footage, and I know right when it was. And my wife was laughing about this because she said it was like a heist. Because about right earlier on that day, I go to check the footage, and at like 10:13 a.m. that day, the footage stops. And there's like no new footage. And then you go like to 10:11 right before, and you just see like the tortoise like walking up to it and like pushing the biggest one, like Topanga pushing the shell, and you just see the camera like easing away from everything else. And then that night there's 2 different plants that are knocked down and they ate.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
It was
Yeah.
planned.
Yeah, it was
pretty
their bank heist,
That's right. Plant heist.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a hoot. Gotta love turtles, right?
They do
Steve,
what they
roll
want.
us in.
I was just about to head there. Welcome to the Pondcast, the destination for insightful discussions and interviews on the appreciation, conservation, and husbandry of reptiles, with a focus on turtles and tortoises. Now, let's join our team of turtle nerds.
Woo! Welcome,
Hi.
welcome to the Pondcast, episode 107. And we're here with the fan favorite crew, Steve, the turtle nerd of all turtle nerds, Enders, Kevin, I don't know. I'm not doing anything for everyone. Forget it.
Oh, commit to the bit.
I can't. It wasn't a bit. I don't know why it happened. I don't know. I just want to call Steve a nerd. Kevin's here as well. Kevin's here and he was on time. We were sorry, Kev. We were like ready to go early today. We were like, it was like 6:55 and we were just sitting there like, we're ready to go. Normally it's like, oh my gosh, I have 17 things I have to say to everyone and we have 13 seconds before we go live. So what are we going to do? Anyway, Emily is also here.
Hey.
So excited to have her here. If you follow her on social media, then you saw the awesome things she was working on today, including wrestling an adult American alligator. But she's always doing amazing things. So if you don't follow her on social media because all you care about is turtles and you haven't found her yet, please check her out on Instagram.
I do post turtle pictures, to be fair.
Yeah.
So
you still get your turtle fix, just not every post.
Yeah.
Like some other nerds in the world. I'm not going to say any names.
Yeah.
Well, is this a personal channel? Is it for the business? Like, where can people find you?
Me? I think it's just my name. And it's personal, but it's only animal pictures. So it's pretty professional. Yeah.
It's personal. Listen, I wanted to start off with something that happened in December, and we did talk about it on our last show. We had a great show in December with Maurice Rodriguez with us. We did have a great guest lined up for tonight, and this happens in this world is that our guest let us know yesterday that they weren't able to join us. So we're here just us, but this is great. I love having the opportunity just to connect with you guys once in a while and kind of update on what's going on and just kind of chat, which is really nice. So we're here, and one thing that we talked about, great example, last month when we had Maurice on, just briefly, was the Hamburg Reptile Expo, which really means a lot to all four of us here, I think, for sure. And we just wanted to touch on that in a little more depth because we really only did kind of a high level drive-by, barely touching on that. And now we just want to talk about it because, I mean, Hamburg's a really big deal. I mean, it's been written about in books. Hamburg's been around since 1988. That's as long as we've all been alive statistically, probably. And I don't know. I think if you took our average age, it's probably it's the mid 80s anyway. Even though Emily tried to help by being younger than us old fogies, but anyway. So it's been around for a long time, about as long as all of us. And I was watching. For some reason, I have some professional wrestling pages that come up all the time. I have a friend who I worked with who loves professional wrestling, and I liked professional wrestling like 25 years ago. So we bonded over that, talking about like 1980s wrestlers and stuff like that. So anyway, there was a post that came up, and it was footage because Hamburg was closing, like the actual venue, not just the expo. There was footage that came up of Andre the Giant against Hulk Hogan at the Hamburg Fieldhouse. And I'm thinking, what a ridiculous thing to see. Now, that was 1980. So it's crazy. And like, that's like a different lifetime, right? Yeah. That was only 8 years before the Reptile Expo started. That's how long it was going. That's crazy. And I mean, Andre the Giant and Hulk Hogan, WrestleMania 3, that was 1987. So the peak of that rivalry was right around when that expo started. That's just insane. Wow. Anyway.
So really quick, you knew the exact year of WrestleMania 3 when Andre and Hulk fought?
The body slam heard around the world at the Pontiac Silverdome. What about it?
And you're calling Steve a nerd?
Look, I'm not crazy about wrestling, but like old wrestling, there's certain things that stick out in my brain just because I was young and formidable at that time.
Listen, I meet more people that like turtles than I meet people that like wrestling. So
Yeah, and I don't like it, but I love that old stuff. And again, this guy and I bonded over that, and now the algorithm knows that I like old wrestling, and it shows me things all the time. And I do stop and read it.
I'm just shocked to hear that you follow anything outside of turtles on social media. That was the surprising part for me.
No, and I just want to be clear. I do not follow any of it. There's not a single wrestling page that I like, but the algorithm knows that, and I don't even like posts. I don't even like, the only posts I like are turtle posts. That's it. So for some, the algorithm knows though that I like it, and that I like, I probably like share a lot of them external, because I'll take them and put them in my email or in my text and send it to that guy just to be like, oh, did you know that Abdullah the Butcher's still alive? And of course he knows. That's a personal relationship with,
you mentioning that just reminds me of how iconic these little tiny field houses and arenas are. Like the 100-point basketball game that Wilt Chamberlain had in the 1960s took place in Hershey Park Arena.
Wow. Now that you say that, I knew that, but I wouldn't have been able to tell you that. I've heard that before.
Right?
That's crazy.
Like, it's just and so I think Hamburg, the field house, fits into that, this little, nowhere, field house that just big events like that used to travel into little towns way more frequently than they do now, right? Because we didn't have this other interconnection. You couldn't stream it from New York and watch it somewhere else. People couldn't just bump down to Philly, for an event. So they brought this stuff into the little towns because, people would pay to see it. And yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, back in the days when things used to travel a lot more.
Right.
Because people were not online.
Tickets were cheaper. Anything. They did more events all over the place. It was a whole different world. And so Hamburg, Hamburg is the Hamburg Reptile Show is in many ways one of those things. And, it's going to keep its name and still continue, but it won't be the same as being in the old venue, so.
Yeah, I agree.
Lots of memories.
And for people who
I don't know.
Go ahead, Kev.
I was just gonna say, I don't know if I'm gonna make it there that often. It's in another 45 minutes further than usual.
Yeah, for us up north, it's about
for me.
40
it's a little closer.
Yeah.
I can get to Morgantown in 30 minutes if I use the turnpike. So
that's nice.
Easy. That's the exit I used to get off to when I was driving to help our friend Joshua care for his animals once a week. That was half the journey. Was I'd jump on the turnpike to Morgantown, and then I'd take the rest of the route to his place. But
I'm happy you brought up Joshua too, because I was just thinking, how many times, and I'd love to hear how many times Kevin and Emily went, because I know it was less than Steve. Steve and I would go every 2 months for a long time.
Yeah,
I know
every show for a good chunk of time. Yeah,
but I just thinking about some of the people that I met there. Steve, I met you there. For the first time. I met Chris Leone there for the first time years ago, you guys. And Joshua was another person, and Eric Good, and you mentioned Maurice before, and all sorts of different people that we were able to meet there.
Yeah, that's where I met you, Steve, for the first time as well.
Yeah, there were old time vendors. There was this younger guy, not much older than Anthony and I, who ended up passing away really suddenly. He was one of the bigger turtle vendors there. He always was in that one corner with a bunch of wild caught stuff. Anthony, Justin, something maybe. But,
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, when he just vanished, that was
Oh my God, I didn't know that. I mean,
I know it was a long time ago now, but yeah.
Don Hamper was always there. Obviously for the times right now, the horrible situation with Brian from BHB, such a huge story right now in the reptile world for obvious reasons, and such a sad, heartbreaking thing. I tried to show my wife, tell her what was going on, and she's like, no, and just ran out of the room and has no idea who Brian is. But Brian used to vend Hamburg, didn't he, Steve? I remember that. And now it's snakes, so it was never something that I was going there to see. But that area that's I don't know if it's Josh's Frogs now or Black Jungle or something. One of those.
Ooh, Black Jungle.
I think it's
Right. One
At
of those
least it
other
was
bigger
recently.
vendors.
I
Yeah,
like them.
Yeah.
it's like a whole space over there in that right corner when
Yeah.
you first
I
walk
mean,
in.
yeah,
thought he used to
breeders
run that for years.
would drive halfway across the country to do the Hamburg show, like, and sell their stuff, like.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's like when I said it's kind of infamous. Like it's in, I can't remember if it's in Stolen World or Lizard King, but they talk about the Hamburg show and how it was, infamous for people could go there and a 16-year-old could buy a black mamba, like that sort of thing. So
Yeah, I
Kinda
can't
still
remember which one of those it
can.
was either. Yeah.
What'd you say, Emily?
I said they kind of still can.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, I'm gonna say that I think anything is possible, but I know that they know when things happen that get them in hot water. So I do think that they're careful to protect their own interests. So, like, there was a news story. I think like today did a story on reptile shows in Pennsylvania and how you could buy venomous snakes, and people would come from all over to buy venomous snakes.
Yeah.
And like soon after that, I was taking some video footage for the Turtle Room's YouTube forever ago. That feels like a lifetime ago now. And they were like not happy that I had a camera, and it wasn't anything professional. It was just a nicer video camera. And they were like all over me. Why are you doing this? And I was like, well, I reached out to you, to try to talk to you before, and nobody got back to me. So here I am. But anyway, they were so I think when negative press gets out there, they know and they try to crack down on it. But I do think things were looser, like with the venomous snakes, than when I first went years and years ago. Than in recent.
Yeah.
It was loosey goosey back then. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what's insane to think about is at this point it's been like 13, 14, 15 years since we met there, Anthony.
Aww.
Like,
So sweet.
was it 09? I know by 10, but I know by 10 I bought some turtles there.
It was 09 or 10. I can't remember. So 14 or 15 years. Yeah. Yeah. Which feels like forever ago, but also feels like yesterday, which I guess is what old people say.
Yeah.
Because I'm old. Yeah.
Right. I'm older than you are. So if you're calling yourself old, that makes me older. So,
but
I got you both beat, so cut it out.
Yeah, you do, Minto. You do.
Hold on. Everyone knows age is about how you feel, right? It's just a number.
Right.
It's just a number, right? So I repeat, I'm the oldest one here. Okay.
You certainly have a little more gray in your beard than I do.
That's right. Speaking of Andre the Giant, okay? Life expectancy is worth considering here.
I've been going to just
that's
in
right,
general
Chris.
reptile expos my whole life, so not as long as you guys. But I grew up going to them because my dad was a really big herp guy, and I can remember all of the animals that we've gotten from expos. So our first, it was a leopard gecko was our first one, and then in a knoll we had. My dad really liked frogs, so we had clawed frogs, Argentine horn frogs, African bullfrogs, all of that. He was really into herps, so I started going to those at a really young age too.
Yeah. When did you guys first go to the Hamburg show, Kevin and Emily?
My first Hamburg show was honestly the first time when I met you, Steve. There, so about 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine was a long time ago. So long I can't even remember.
Yeah.
So you went there when you were a kid?
Yep.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So you probably went before any of us did.
Well,
possibly, yeah.
To be fair, I was a kid getting dragged along with my dad, but yeah, it's true. And I do remember like just looking at all the animals and thinking they were cool. And I remember when we got our leopard gecko, there were so many animals and we visited so many tables that when my dad brought it home, I was like, oh, we got something. I didn't even realize it. Yeah. And my dad let us name it too. And remember, I was a kid. So for me, leopard gecko, a natural name, tiger, right? And then we got two anoles. And what did we name them? Again, I was a kid. Princess Jasmine and Aladdin. So
That's good. Yeah.
I'm sure you guys can relate with your kids.
So
Whole
the
new
most
world.
recent Aldabra that came in, my daughter got the name, and I and my wife both feel it's the best name of any of our animals. And she came up with it instantaneously. She's like, that one is called Spaghetti Head. And so now we have a tourist named Spaghetti Head.
That's actually a really good name.
Yeah, it's perfect.
I love it.
People will want to know the story. There's no story. There is no story.
His
It's
name was
just
Gus
the
And
name.
before he
that's
came
what's
here.
the best part.
Yeah.
Well,
Just
there's
if you're
one of
watching,
those too,
Gus is now
Chris.
Spaghetti Head.
Go ahead, Steve. What are you talking about?
So Chris is like the first time I heard of the Hamburg show. I thought it was in Germany, and I was like, "There's one of those too." I'm pretty sure there's a reptile show in Hamburg, Germany too.
Ham with 2 M's. Ham.
Yeah, I mean Hamburg. There is 2 M's.
Yeah,
Is
I
that
don't.
where the ham with 2 M's reptile show is? Is that?
I don't think so. I don't know
Okay.
though. It could be.
I wasn't sure.
I don't think so.
Look it up.
Look it up, will you? Check it out.
Yeah.
So I just want to plug one thing as we move on from that. Just, it's not ending. As Steve said, they're going to keep the name, which is really cool, but just felt like we should honor that thing that, so many of us know each other because of the Hamburg Reptile Expo.
Yeah.
It's one thing to know somebody online, but when you can actually, and this is why I love, the TTPG so much and, other conferences, the opportunity to get together with people who you may know online and actually meet them and see that they're not the weirdest people, in the world, is really helpful and helps to kind of really solidify that bond. So, I mean, for me, the Hamburg show changed my life.
Yeah.
And there you go. Kevin says that the show is in Ham. I thought that was the case. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. So a couple big quick plugs before we move on. And then Emily's going to take things over.
Yeah.
Watch out. Hold on to your hats. Whoop, whoop. Was that, who did that, Kevin?
Yeah.
Is that from, what the heck's the dude's name?
And really close
Superhuman?
anywhere.
All right.
Not
All right.
sure.
All right. I thought it was the guy who does elbow drops onto microwaves and stuff like that.
No,
Anyway.
no.
Okay. It was whoop, whoop. Okay.
Sounds like more wrestling talk.
So, yeah, it is. And that's probably why the algorithm knows, that I'd be into it and not you guys. Okay. Anyway, check us out on our website, the Turtle Room. We've got calendars. It's not too late to get yours. And also hot new item, these coasters that are really great that people are really loving.
Yeah, the
So
coasters are awesome.
yeah, you can get a set of
Yeah.
4 too and save a little bit of money. And so don't delay. It's already January 8th. Don't blow it. You don't want to be that person. Get in your calendar in March. I've been there.
Your
You don't wanna be that person.
calendar, we're 1/52nd gone from the year already. So you've lost 1/52nd value of that calendar. So you better get on that.
1/52nd. Did you calculate that before the show, or did you know that off the top of your head?
There's 52 weeks, Emily.
You know what? It didn't even occur to me. Okay, you're right. That went so far over my head. Okay. You're completely right.
Emily, I'm on your side. Okay, it's the way he says it.
Yeah.
It's the way he says
It's the
it
way he said
that
it.
makes it sound. Yes, according to my calculations, gang. Yeah.
That was really good.
Carry the 9.
I love that
I
this
love you
guy
guys.
is in the. I love that this guy is in the chat right now too. For all the juggalos and juggalettes. Whoop, whoop. So I'm
Anthony's
talking about.
wrestling fans are coming out of the woodwork.
It's ICP.
Oh, that okay.
Yes,
Oh, okay.
that's what
Got
the
it.
guy says before he does it, though. He's like an ICP
okay.
fan, and he does stunts, which are basically like corny wrestling moves where he just jumps onto things and then screams because it hurts. It's really good.
But if we keep
I watched
talking
about-
about wrestling in front of my phone, I'm going to start getting wrestling ads on Instagram. So we need to stop.
I would be so lucky. Okay, let's change. I already made Steve yawn just a second ago. Let's go. Emily, the floor is yours.
Okay, so we're going to play. It's kind of like a game, but it's kind of like a fun 50 questions or like 20 questions, but a revamped version. And listeners, viewers, feel free to chime in and give your answers too. this first question is going to go out to all of us, so we all have to answer. So you're all in the hot seat. What was the best thing to happen to you in 2023? We'll start off with a nice, easy one. And would anyone like to go first? Or do you want me to start? Okay, I'll start.
You go.
So,
Yeah.
okay. So for me, I'm really excited this year. I get to be a part of NEPARC, so Northeast Partners and Amphibian and Reptile Conservation, and I'm really excited to be a part of it. So for me, that is a huge win. I have been hoping for this since I think it started in the summer when it was Perspective that I might be part of it. So I'm really excited this year to be a part. So I'm really excited.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm excited for you too, for sure. So
Super cool. I'm going to go next because I want to say something and then I'll just answer after that. So everyone who's tuning in, please put your answers in the chat. So if you want to share what you are most excited about from looking back on 2023, please share that in the chat. Okay, so I'm going to go now. And I have two answers. I have two things and I can't really tell which one is more important. I built a greenhouse this year, which was awesome because I grew up in low income housing. I didn't know how to change a tire or do anything. So just being a homeowner, being interested in turtles and doing DIY projects, I've actually learned how to be a grown adult man, which is really weird, but I'm really proud of that. And anyway, so that was one thing. And then the other one is that I did publish a book this year, even though it was actually, I think tomorrow is the year anniversary. So technically it was 2023.
Congratulations.
And so anyway, hopefully we'll publish it. Well, it's not hopefully, we will publish another book this year and working on some other projects. So anyway.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
I'll
Thanks,
go
guys.
next. I also have two, a little bit smaller. The first is I fortunately was transferred to a different location at work. So now I get about 10 extra hours a week at home with my family and my animals. So that was a big win for me just in life and mental shape, things like that. The second is a few months ago, I actually had a heart scare, and that isn't good, but it shocked my brain to then hey, you got to start taking care of yourself a lot better. So I've been working hard on that. I've been in a lot better shape, which in turn actually makes working with the animals a lot easier because these things keep getting heavier and heavier.
Yeah. Cool.
Wow.
Nice.
Well, I'm glad you're doing well. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. No, I'm completely fine. It's just hereditary stuff and, figuring it out now. But thanks.
Yeah.
I thought you were training to become a cage fighter. You look great.
I've been doing those crunches all day, every day, I got a 1-pack still, though, but we're working on it.
It's a more refined 1-pack.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Man. The I guess for me, this has been hatching 40 turtles of what was it, 5 different species this year. It was the most in either of those categories ever for me, and so I think that was at least my turtle highlight of the year. It's really hard to think about anything else because it feels like it was a blur as a whole, and I'm trying to remember what else I was that excited about.
That's pretty darn cool. And this is something that you've worked towards for 14, 15 years. That's a pretty big deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was really cool to, we invested in the house a bit too. We redid the basement, added some more turtle space in the process. And so this summer I also, while all these turtles were hatching, I was also expanding my ability to hatch even more. So, it was a really cool year from that perspective. And yeah, that's true too. I'm replying to Kevin in the chat, in our little private chat there. That's ups and downs. So we became a foster parent for the foster parents this year. And so that was something we spent a year working towards. It's been such a roller coaster though. So it's hard to just look at that as this is the most exciting thing about 2023. But yeah, it was quite a journey and it still is for sure.
Well, I'm beyond happy for you, buddy. Truly.
Yeah.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Excuse me. And I apologize to everyone. I've been coughing a little bit. I'm just kind of coming back from a little bit feeling under the weather this week. But how many successful hatches did you say that you have, Steve, this year?
There were 40 this year.
40. Wow.
Yeah.
Who had the highest?
20.
Anthony.
Oh, Anthony.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but not not that many more, actually. I got a lot more eggs, but I don't like to hatch them, apparently. So,
How many hatches did you have? Do you know the number off the top of your
I
head?
don't know the number. I would guess 55 or 60, probably. Not many more.
Okay. I
Yeah.
thought you were gonna say like 51 or something.
No, no, yeah.
Something specific.
No, I should know. I knew exactly how many eggs I got, but now it's tough because sometimes the hatches take so long. So like for me, the season isn't even over. I have eggs that are still incubating. I just hatched one last week that were, so I have eggs that were laid 200 days ago that are still incubating. So it could add to the number. It's always going up. So I don't necessarily know. I do keep track so I could look back and say this year I hatched this many, but also I keep so many different species that like I want to know how I did with this species compared to the years prior too. But the overall total, I'd say probably about 60. And really the only reason the number was that high is because I hatched a lot of Reeves turtles, which is not going to knock anyone's socks off, but I love them and I had been having trouble hatching them. Well, hatching females. Yeah. Awesome. I've been struggling to hatch females, and I know I mentioned that in the podcast before, but like all I hatch is males, and anytime I pump the temperature up, they all die. So I just couldn't figure it out. But this year I had a lot of success. So
is it across the board that females tend to be hatched out at certain temperatures and males too for turtles? Oh, okay.
No. So in turtles, there are some species that are genetic sex determinate. And then you have the various different forms of temperature sex determinate. Painted turtles are actually believed to be TSD2, where there's two pivotal temperatures, and the extremes both hatch females, and the males hatch in between.
Yeah,
that's so interesting.
Yeah, and then you have the two variations of TSD1. 1A is, I think, females higher than males, and 1B is females lower than males. So you've got three different TSD variations. I don't know about 1B being in turtles, but obviously 1A is the one we're most used to. The females higher temperatures, males lower. But there have been painted turtles are reportedly TSD2. I wonder if Reeves, because they get pretty north in China, I wonder if they're a 2.
I should be able to tell you this because I've read up on it, but I can't tell you with any with any real confidence. But
right. The other thing I wonder is if some more of them are 2, but in captivity we haven't messed with trying to get females from those really cool temperatures.
Yeah, and the thing I should add too is I was not. Like, I don't think it's difficult to hatch females. It was just difficult for me. For whatever reason, what I was doing wasn't working. And I was at temperatures that were warm, but they were still well within safe limits. And it just wasn't working out. So,
yeah.
Anyway.
Okay. So for this next question, if any of your wives are listening, you can just like politely direct them to the next room, because this is a question that is going to get you all in trouble.
I'm excited.
Name one turtle that you all acquired secretly or in full knowledge of your wives in 2023. So that one, for us, we did not acquire any new turtles. As far as I can think, we didn't. No, we're good here. We're safe. So
I think my wife has unboxed every single turtle I've received this year.
Oh,
attaboy.
Okay.
That's how you do it.
Because she's home and I'm not. I don't think I got anything shipped here during the summer. I think it all came after I went back to school. So
I used to get stuff shipped. I used to get stuff shipped to work and then bring it in like in a bag, like in my work bag, like acting like I didn't have it. Like the deli, take it out of the styrofoam box, leave that at work, and then bring them home in their deli cup inside my bag. But I don't have to do that anymore. I don't have to hide anything. I did. There was a time where I felt like I needed to.
Yeah. I mean, Lisa doesn't really care at this point anymore. They're all down in the basement. The number's already over 100. Like, it's like, whatever.
She's not counting. Okay, good.
No, and as long as I'm not trying to put another tank up in the main living area of the house, like whatever. So.
Do you have a lot of tanks in your main living area?
Only one currently, But in the old house before we moved, all of my turtles were in the living room and dining room.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was
So,
epic.
and that was 23 turtles in 3 aquariums. Ultimately, it was 4 aquariums when this first round of Cicalia hatched, plus terrestrial habitat for the Spengleri.
Yeah, that's pretty epic. It was fun sitting
It
down,
was.
eating some pizza and watching a couple
The
Cicalia
turtles
go
right
at
next
it.
to you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it wasn't bad. I think for me, it was northern spider tortoises, a group of them
Ooh,
that came.
so
That was
cool.
yeah, that was really cool. It was just a different sub. I already kept spider tortoises, but this was just a different subspecies. That's been really exciting.
I just think that they're really cool in general. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
all right. So and then if you want, you can have everyone can tune back in now again. So name one turtle that you rehomed. So there you go. We brought it full circle.
I like that you said rehomed. Shannon and I always talk about this one. She always says you need to get rid of this or get rid of. And like that's such a like sad phrase, you know. I'm going to get rid of this. Now, if I'm talking to my friends, I might mention that, like you know. But really, it's like this turtle, you know, deserves to be somewhere else, or it's time for it to move on or get into a better, you know, breeding situation or whatever. But yeah, rehomed. I don't know if I love it, but it's better than get rid of.
Yeah.
And Charlie, you said that you set animals to my job. LOL. That was when I was working at the animal hospitals. We get FedEx deliveries every day, so it just makes sense. I haven't hid anything from Shannon in a long time. But yeah, the last question was, what did we rehome?
Yeah.
I just gave some animals away 2 days ago. How you like that?
Yeah. I
What was
sent
it?
out a lot. Sent out a lot this year.
Some people are going to be mad in the chat, but I gave away the deformed Cora McCordi that I hatched this year. A lot of people were claiming that and saying that they wanted it, but I gave it to a friend who happened to be here in person and has been better to me in the last year than probably anyone. So he has that now. No offense to anyone else who's been great to me, but
No, he's a good guy. Great guy.
He's been that's Mark Da Silva, so you could knock his door down. But he's been wonderful recently. I wouldn't have the greenhouse if it wasn't for him. And I gave him some other stuff too, and then made arrangements to give away a bunch of other stuff too. So I'm excited. It's nice to lower the number that you have to take care of, and when those animals are going into good situations, when it's too much and you're getting rid of things because it's too much, that doesn't feel good, because then you worry about the animals and you feel guilty. Not that I know from experience, but when you know you're working hard to take care of everything and then you realize that it might just be better if you had a few less, and it might be better for those animals to put them in a really, really, really good situation, then everybody wins.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Well, I mean, another thing, like for example, you're going to be sending a turtle to us soon for exhibit. So that's like kind of like a perfect example. Totally. It's not that you really need to unload this animal. It's just that we have the space, the capacity, and we're looking for it.
Yeah.
And hopefully that exhibit should be ready soon. We
Keep
have
me updated.
One more exhibit to finish, and then we'll start working.
Let's go.
So,
and you have to also think, pros and cons, right? So if I have that animal, or if I have a animal, is it one that needs to be bred? I like to think that I'm good at turtle breeding, although the results don't always support that. But I like to try, and that's the goal. But I can never do what you guys do from an educational standpoint. And, someone who walks into your place could be the next Jeff Corwin, could be the next Peter Pritchard. Mm-hmm. And for them to be able to experience that turtle at a young age, the way you remember going to the Hamburg Reptile Expo, or I remember going to the Bronx Zoo or whatever, then, we can make a really big impact that way.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yep.
All right. So
I'm going to jump in actually. Sorry. I have
go ahead.
We had a larger group of redfoots as well. And then just condensing down on things and realizing how much space we want to give to specific animals, like you were saying, made us decide to move that group out. So I've already found homes for 5 of them, but I believe I do have a couple more. So anyone that's local to the Northeast, I'd rather not ship them. But if anyone's interested in redfoots, I believe I might have a couple still available. So feel free to reach out.
Cool.
It's nice.
I still have several turtles. I'm going to try to move out here as we head towards spring yet too. So get ready for the new year.
Everyone who's viewing and listening to this later, you know who to bother about some turtles. Maybe free, maybe not that expensive. You never know. It's worth checking into.
All right.
Yeah, I think as far as rehoming stuff this year was really fun to be able to kind of like pay things forward from all the turtles people have given me over the years, and that was really exciting. Actually,
that's a really good point. Yeah.
So I know that you're all working on turtle projects. What is a favorite turtle project that you're working on right now, or one that you're really passionate about? So I don't have a specific turtle project that we're working on right now, but I did just decide that I wanted to try breeding some of our tarantulas, and right now I'm extremely passionate about this project. I'm really excited. I really hope that it works out, but that is one project that I'm working on. But how about you guys? Anyone want to start?
Sure. I'm increasing my pen by 8 more feet long, 16 more feet wide to give more room throughout them for the animals to walk. And right now, while they're still small, I'm always worried about predators in my yard. So until they're to a size where I don't have to worry about anything kind of coming in and hurting them, or them being too small to kind of dig out, potentially, I keep them enclosed throughout the day. My days off, they could roam the entire yard. But I'm excited to increase that area, and I can play with the topography more and kind of really make it like a full ecosystem in there for them.
Nice. I like that.
I'm always nervous about digging out too. Yeah. Are either of you working on any projects you're really excited about right now? You don't have to share either.
I have one. I just wanted to be polite and let Steve go, but he looks puzzled, so I'll let him think while I talk if he wants to answer. Probably what I'm most excited about right now is plants. That's so corny. If I was watching this, I'd be like, this guy sucks.
That's awesome.
No, I really am, because I've always sucked at plants. And again, when I talk about Mark and how much I owe him with the fact that I wouldn't have a greenhouse right now if it wasn't for his help, he also has a lot more experience with plants than I do. And he brought me over some old lights that I put in my basement. I'm like, we'll give it a shot, see if I can grow something. My basement looks like I grow like I have a whole grow farm going down there. And
nice.
If somebody looks through like my basement window, they're gonna think I'm growing like marijuana or something. There's plants everywhere. I mean, it is January. There's snow on the ground. It's 20 degrees outside, and I have elephant ears growing indoors. And between the basement with those lights and the greenhouse, I feel like I'm going to be able to provide something that I never have, besides in the outdoor enclosures, to my animals, which is just a heavily planted, boring setup from a viewer's perspective. Where, like, that Jeff Goldblum, like, there are going to be dinosaurs on this dinosaur tour, are there not? Like, yeah, you don't see the dinosaurs because you're in like Costa Rica, and there's plants everywhere. So anyway, I want people to see the plants and make it tough for them to see the turtles, because that's what I think will create the healthiest turtles.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So, yeah. So before I go with something here, I just want to thank Dawson and Sam for dropping some donations in through YouTube. Thank you very much. And apparently the next bid is up at $29.99 for anybody else who's looking to one up Sam.
What? That's happening right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see
Within
the comments over there. Yep.
Dawson came in at 10 within seconds. Sam's like, not letting that happen. Gave us 20.
Oh my gosh. I'm seeing that. I didn't know that's what that was.
Yeah. That's what that is. Yeah.
That's amazing.
So I'm trying to get some ram's horn snails breeding so I can toss some snails in for all my big old map turtle ladies. Get that natural mollusk kind of ish thing going on for them, but So I need to get some live. I want to get some live water aquatic plants and stick in with them yet. And I want to do more with plants in some of my, like, especially my Spenglerian and stuff. I want to try to get more plants growing. So that's something I'm working on this year as well. Is I want to try to get some more plant growth in my Spenglerian enclosures and make them a little more jungle-licious.
I like that, jungle-licious. That's cool.
I get it.
Steve, would they eat mud snails or no? Because they're more like brackish.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. No idea. Yeah.
Okay.
But I've got Andy Weber gave me a bunch of ram's horn snails, and I've got them in an aquarium, and so I want to get some live plants to toss in there with them, and I want to get that aquarium like full of snails before I start tossing them into map turtles, because let's be honest, ram's horn snails aren't that big, and like map turtles could eat through those in a little bit, but I want to at least add some of that little like supplementary molluskness to their diet. So
yeah. Has anyone been able to like recreate that megacephalic look they like female maps and female terrapins will get from the wild in captivity?
Not to the extreme you see in the wild. No.
Okay.
No, my barber's heads are pretty big, but they're like nothing compared to the wild barbers that I see pictures of. So
it's a good question.
Yeah, it is. I think I'd need to find a way to breed some of those like freshwater clams to make that happen.
Okay.
So
I bought some of those at White Plains. I was going to say at Hamburg, but it wasn't at Hamburg. It was at White Plains. And the guy said that he breeds them, and I had every intention of breeding them, and then I didn't really have a spot for them, so I ended up putting them in with the mini musk turtles. So I'm like, you know what? These turtles are so small, they're not going to eat them, and they ate them like so quickly.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
I've seen a hatchling barbers eat a ram's horn snail.
I believe it. Just stick-to-itiveness.
Right. Oh, just quick crunch.
Dawson, we saw that.
Yeah, that was pretty epic.
Sneaking in with some more super stickers. Thank you.
I don't even know what to say.
Yeah.
We should, this gave me an idea. We should if somebody wants to buy a super sticker while we're live, they should be able to decide like 10 minutes of content. Right?
Ooh, yeah. I like that idea.
We'll have to try that in the future for sure. Yeah.
So Dawson, if you have any questions, I want to answer them.
Yeah, go for it. Give us a question, Dawson.
While we're waiting for Dawson to come up with a question, how about what is your least favorite turtle project that you're working on right now? Because I feel like there's some things I'm ready to like just throw in the towel on, and I just want to hear from you. Yeah, we're going out for pessimism for 2023.
That's rough. That's rough because I try to stay optimistic with all of it, and this is a public forum too, so I don't want to bash any animals who never asked to be prisoners in captivity. I know that's a bad way to put it, but you know what I mean? I hate caring for these poor animals that never asked to be here. Good question.
Well, just project. Okay, so for me, this is another non-turtle one, but I have been working on a shift box / nest box for our green mambas. And I was bugging Brian for many, many months, probably over a year, to make this shift box. And he finally made it, and they won't go in their shift box. And I'm gonna stop using it. I don't know what I'm waiting for. I'm not gonna clean you until you go in your shift box, and then they don't go in. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna clean you, but I'm not gonna be happy about it. Just go in your shift box. So that is my least favorite project that I'm working on right now. I don't know why I bothered, but hopefully he's not listening and he didn't hear that. So that's really funny. Wow. Yeah. I do have one, and I have to tell Steve about this anyway. So Steve, here you go. I have some Leucocephalon ioannoi, which to turtle people are very, very important species. So that Sulawesi forest turtle, yeah. So they're one of the rarest turtles on the planet, and they're one that I'm very proud to have. But they don't fit into my collection. But I've had them just because the Turtle Room had an opportunity to acquire some. I acquired them on behalf of the Turtle Room, and then proceeded to try to get somebody to take them, and then just gave up. So I've had them for several years now, and still waiting for that person who wants to take them. So anyway, one of our volunteer staff members who's been a part of the Turtle Room for
many years and helped create Kaggle Rock, the database that we use, and Digital Colonian Log. Kevin Labille has just purchased a new home, and he loves turtles that are tough to take care of. He loves African mud turtles and things that other people don't, things that need heat and get a little bit big. He loves Pelusios niger, which is like the largest species of African mud turtle, or one of the two largest. Anyway, he has agreed to take them, which is funny because a lot of people would want those turtles. But yeah, so they stay within the turtle room. They're still our animals, and they're going to a better situation that's better for me and better for Kevin, and exciting for Kevin, and much better room for the animals. Yeah, and good for the turtle room too. Yeah, great. Yeah, so I'm excited about that.
Okay, Dawson got his question in. He wants to know what everyone's favorite food is. That's what it says. What is everyone's
He also asked, what animal is your first animal you show when someone wants to see your collection?
That's a good question.
Yeah, let's start with food because I'm hungry.
Dawson, you have to come visit me so you could see which animal I show first. Okay?
Yeah.
Does that sound good?
Mm-hmm.
So I usually start with terrapins just because they're so colorful and the people like seeing them. They're small, they can hold them. Or I'll show them to Topanga, one of the Aldabras, because she's the largest one I have right now. And regardless of her being small comparatively to what they turn into, she's bigger than most tortoises people see in the regular when they run into tortoises at the zoo or something. Excuse me.
Yeah, I think for me it's the quads. They're what's in the living or the family room upstairs. So like that's a good spot to just, before we head down into the basement. And then I have a smaller tank with some of the juvenile quads right outside the entrance into all of the turtle rooms. And so just by their positioning, the quads are kind of the natural first one. They're also pretty outgoing. And then what catches everybody's attention when we get into when you eventually go through two more doors and get into the main turtle room is going to be the Spangleri, because they're just kind of right there in front of you, and Mango's right at eye level, and that's a turtle everybody falls in love with. So I would say those end up being it, but the maps are front and center, but I think just with the positioning of the quads, just outside the turtle room makes them kind of the first natural piece that people see.
Mm-hmm.
And for anyone who doesn't know what quads are, those are four-eyed turtles. Steve and I helped each other out with common names tonight.
Yep.
I think for me, it's Cora McCordi, McCord's box turtle.
Yeah.
That's just where they happen to be, and they're kind of eye level right in front and center when you first walk in the room. And they have like a nice planted enclosure that they're just kind of always bopping around. At least right now, they're all under the substrate and sleeping.
Yeah. I'm looking for another species that's kind of like that. I have these like 8 feet, basically right about eye level as you come into the newest turtle room that is unmarked as far as what's going to go there. And so I'd love to have something that catches people's attention, is engaging right when they walk in the room there. So like that's another one of these type of species is also kind of on my list of the one space I have that isn't yet like positioned for some other turtle or saved for some other species or anything, is kind of I'm looking for something like that too to put there.
You should think about McCordi. The price is going to keep coming down. So yeah,
not like crazy. It's definitely one on the list, but
they're never going to be cheap like Flavos, like Chinese box turtles. But they're
right.
Compared to what they were 5-10 years ago,
it's
there's a big difference. Yeah,
I don't know that you can say that, man. Look at Quang Tung.
Well, that doesn't count. That was like designer fad type thing. Like a couple of breeders or a handful of breeders in China decided that Quang Tungs were something they wanted back because it's a Chinese species that was extinct in the wild. Now, McCordi are also a Chinese species that was extinct in the wild, but China has them now and they're breeding them. So the amount that we're going over to China, that's halted a lot. So now they're just our turtles now. Whereas before the demand was so high overseas that it kept the demand crazy high. Like they felt like they were ungettable here, but now a lot of those animals are just kind of staying put. So we'll see what happens. I don't know how fast, because, I expected the bottom to drop out on trifasciata golden coin turtles, like 5-10 years ago, and it did, but it didn't. It's not like it happens overnight, and it's not like they're worth $20 like Vietnamese pond turtles or Quang Tung River turtles are. But they're not going to get more expensive, that's for sure. I don't think.
And
Quang Tungs were one of the first turtles you ever showed me, Anthony, at your place.
They are so awesome and nobody cares about them. I just love them.
I remember specifically you talking about when they would nest, they would create 2 chambers, like an offset chamber to like throw off predators, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, you
that
find
is
the
cool.
find the eggs, you eat your 2 eggs, and you leave, and then you don't realize there was a nest chamber 4 inches away with 3 eggs in it that get to hatch. It's pretty cool. It's like the deals that people make with the sea turtle egg collectors. Like, you can have half of them, just give me half of them back so I can, put them back in the beach and let them hatch.
So when I answer Dawson's question, I'll answer actually both questions. My favorite food is cupcakes. And whenever anyone comes to the center, I think I actually am more likely to show you all of the fish that we have, just because I tend to like the more unusual animals, and we have some really unusual fish here. And obviously, I work at a reptile zoo. I love reptiles. I love all of them, but just the fish are so unusual to me that's what I'm most excited to show everyone. I'm just like, look at this cool fish. It's been around for centuries. It's really cool. This is an electric catfish. So I get really excited about those, and that's what I always want to prioritize. So we are running out of time. We're going to go into rapid fire round now. So that means you're on the hot seat, and you just have to throw out the first answer that pops into your head. So I'll give you a sec to collect your thoughts. Ready. So
what's the point system?
It's you want to do a point system? Okay, it's gonna be arbitrary. I'm just gonna make it up on the fly.
Gold star.
Yeah.
Like feeding
anyway style.
So you all start with 1 star, and then maybe I'll subtract them, maybe I'll add. I don't know. We'll see. So is there a prize? Probably
Dawson,
not. But,
back at it.
Okay. So favorite animal influencer from 2023. Let's hear from Kevin. Go.
Emily Yang.
Influencer, but okay. All right, you get a star for that. Thank you.
He's fishing for stars.
Yeah.
Chris Leone, thank you.
It works. Ooh, okay.
I don't know any animal influencers anymore. I have really not been paying attention to that on social media. I have to be honest.
Oh, Steve,
let me fill you in.
Come on.
Let me fill you in. Chris is getting big.
I know he is.
It's true.
Our little Chrissy's getting real big.
Oh, okay. We're gonna slide this one in rapid fire. This is from Sam. Would you rather have 100 sulcatas or 1,000 red-eared sliders?
It depends.
100 sulcatas. That's a lot of food.
I was just gonna say it depends which one I can find a recipe for first. I don't mean to be rude.
I'll never go hungry with the sulcatas.
I ate steak for dinner. I'm not, who am I to say? But probably 1,000 red-eared sliders, because then you just have 1 pond. Do you know how many 100 sulcatas is? That is like your whole land would smell like a farm. Like you would smell your house from 2 miles away.
I'm in Lancaster County. That's what it smells like here most of the time anyway.
You wouldn't have a lawn.
Yeah, well, and they're gonna burrow under your house and disappear anyway. So
I could live on a property that has a decent sized pond and just shove the red ears in it until they're just crawling on each other, or I can live on a dirt patch and have 6 sulcatas because I only have a dirt patch. It's red ears all the way.
Our buddy Steve Baker, you've been to his place before. It's a big field, but he had like 30 sulcatas at one point, I think.
No, he had like 10, and it was way too many, and he has acres. Like just simplify this, right? Steve, mathematician, is it easier to take care of 10 red ears or a full size sulcata? The answer is 10 red ears.
Probably 10 red ears. Yeah. Like, especially for me with my filter stuff, but yeah. Like the space a single sulcata needs is big.
Think about the water, the smell of the water for 1,000 red-eared sliders.
It's probably what my house smells like already.
1,000
outside with the pond,
and they're all female too. So
big old pond.
Yeah,
they're all female. Come on, I'm thinking I'm taking those 1,000 red ears and I'm hatching some new morphs.
Or all
That's-
males and they're all just fighting all the time. I don't know. So
The females fight pretty bad too. Okay, this isn't rapid fire anymore.
okay.
Ideal ratio for map turtles, 1-to-1. Okay, continue.
Okay.
No,
Favorite-
bigger, more males.
More males. 1.2-to-1, 1.4-to-1.
Yeah.
Okay.
That question wasn't rapid fire. You can give a more solid answer if you
No,
want.
that's good.
Oh, okay. All
We're
right.
rapid fire. Sorry, Albert. We're rapid fire.
Non-turtle animal. Favorite non-turtle animal. Go.
Oh gosh, penguins.
Red panda.
Ooh,
I was trying to
that's
decide if
so
I'm going with
cute.
zoo animal or pet.
Anyway,
Red panda's my zoo animal. Cat is my pet at this point. I
Penguin.
can't live without
Cat.
the cats.
That's cute.
I can't
Yeah,
live without
and-
the cats.
Anthony, I'm deducting 1 star because I was a penguin keeper.
No,
and I had to
no.
hand feed 14 of them
Pangolin.
twice a day.
No,
A
I don't like
pangolin?
penguins. I hate penguins. Pangolin.
Oh, pangolin. Ooh,
Pangolin.
you get 2 stars for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
The best.
Okay. Yeah, 2 stars. I take it back. Okay. All right. Name a turtle you would like to see more of in the pet tree.
Japanese pond turtle. Boom.
Okay.
I made a post about them
Black
today.
marsh turtle.
I just found out that
that's a
my
good
article
one.
is going to be the front page of Reptiles magazine with the Japanese pond turtle, which is so cool to me. Now, listen, I know Reptiles magazine isn't what it used to be, but the Japanese pond turtle has never been on the cover of anything. The Japanese pond turtle wouldn't be on the cover of Japanese pond turtle magazine if it existed. That species gets no love. It's the Rodney Dangerfield of turtles. And I am going to change that. I want Japanese pond turtles in every home in America.
All right. Okay. Steve, rapid fire. Go, go, go.
I'm so terrible. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Deduct
That's
another
all right.
star. Deduct another star.
All right, deduct another star. All
I'll
right,
take a
How
star.
about this one? Just because it seems like when I got negative, like the chat just blew up. So name a turtle who should not be in the pet trade besides sulcatas. Okay, go.
And besides red ear sliders. Oh, that's tough. Map turtles. Map turtles are replacing red ears in a lot of places, and
The common ones, yeah.
they're tougher to keep than red eared sliders, and
Yeah.
they also get big, and they could survive a lot of places that red ear sliders survive. So
I'll go with that. I'll go with false map turtle.
Okay. All right.
he shouldn't get a star. He stole mine.
No, I didn't give any stars for that yet. Kevin?
So are we talking pet trade as far as like if I go to Petco and see the animal, or just like at herp shows too?
Yes.
Your neighbor's yard. Yeah.
I don't really have one. You know, I've said this in the past that I feel like if you have the capability or functionality to keep something, we should be able to
Okay.
within reason.
That is
Lame.
fair, but I am going to deduct 1 star. Okay.
Thank you.
most-
He's not prepared. He's not prepared. He's not on the ball.
Rapid fire. So,
Rapid
most-
fire.
If you want me to say one animal, common snapping turtle.
Ooh.
Somebody's gonna lose a finger one day.
Good answer.
Yeah, you know what? I'm on board with that. Okay, most overrated turtle.
Not true.
Most overrated turtle. I'll go first. Our fly river turtle. I love him, but he is the most sensitive turtle at the whole center. Water quality, temperature. He's very picky. Food. Yeah. So a little overrated. I do love him dearly. I'm gonna get him tattooed on me, but overrated. Okay, go.
Indian
For me,
stars.
Overrated? Really?
He's
What do you say, Steve?
I said the genus Cora.
he also wants
Everybody
Cora.
goes bonkers over them
Yeah.
more than anything else, right?
He was
But,
just saying
no
he
matter
wants
how
one.
cool, no matter how cool they are, right? They're the one genus that like everybody just goes absolutely whack for, right? They're overrated only because of that. It's like they're like the Yankees or the Lakers.
I disagree. I am a Yankees and Lakers fan. I disagree.
I wouldn't say specifically Flava Marginata, but yeah, I agree.
That's-
A lot of people ask me like why I'm not interested in keeping them. I'm like, well, I live a half hour away from somebody that has like 1,000 of them, so I can just go see them whenever I want.
Who is it? How come I
Yeah,
don't know
just-
about him?
It's you, dummy.
Oh, I'm embarrassed. Well, I don't like this. Which one?
Yeah.
Oh, I was saying Indian star tortoises.
You did.
I
Yeah.
did, yeah. And it's not that I don't love them. I hatched quite a few. I hatched more this year than ever. I really, really enjoy them, but they're not easy. They need heat. They like to get runny noses, and yeah, they're just not. They're not the easiest thing out there.
You get a star for that, Anthony.
Thank you.
'Cause
And
yeah,
they were both
everything.
coming at me. Like
Star.
Steve's just got done saying 8 minutes ago how he wants Cora.
Okay.
How could you?
Most underrated turtle.
Dawson, you live in a place where stars probably do a lot better than they do here. That's probably part of it. What was it? Most what, Emily?
Most underrated turtle.
Oh, didn't we answer that? Isn't that what I said?
Yeah, you
Japanese
said Japonica.
Yeah.
No, most overrated and then most underrated.
No, you said because I said Japonica. That should be.
That was what you'd like to see more in the pet trade.
More in the pet trade.
Yeah, a little bit different.
You got a twofer here.
Yeah, that's. Eastern mud turtle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, super duper
Painted turtles.
super duper cold hardy and do amazingly well. And painted turtles, I would say, painted turtle. A lot of people think that painted turtles are great. Like we're talking about captive keeping. They're actually not very easy at all. Like painted turtles, they do great most of the time, and sometimes they just don't. That's a species that, like one animal, just like, man, I thought I had it figured out, and this animal just died. I don't know why.
Okay.
So they're not as rock solid. I mean, Steve, you haven't had that experience, right? Because you've had painted turtles that you've had for 20 years.
Two very old females at this point.
But I just, I think like even if I bought a bunch of hatchlings, like maybe 50% of them grow perfectly and 25% of them for no reason with the same diet have upturned marginals. And then the other 25% of them just drop dead one day and you don't know why.
Yeah.
Like,
I had that southern painted male that just died.
Yeah. Yeah. That sort of stuff happens. And we just like, it's just whatever. But I think if you actually looked at it, that it happens with painted turtles a lot more than people realize.
He was like 5 years old, 7 years old, something like that, and just croaked. Just like
Southern is dorsalis.
Yeah.
All right. Book recommendation. So I just started reading The Lizard King. Actually, Anthony, you recommended I read it, and it is blowing my mind every day.
So cool, right?
That was one that you recommended to me. Yeah, I don't know why I waited this long to read it. So
Emily's trying not to cough. I know that feeling.
Book right now. I know.
Tales of the Tibade.
Ooh, good one by Peter Pritchard. Peter C.H. Pritchard.
It's Peter's memoir basically, and it's fantastic. My favorite of all of his books, and I think it's because it's more about the stories and the narrative as much as it is the science. It's really good read about his life and his just journey saving turtles. So really great book.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Kevin,
you get a star for that.
Oh, I want to cry. He held up my book from this year. That tomorrow's the 1 year anniversary of that being published.
I have mine right here too.
I
was actually going to try to bind it for you, but you signed it and you personalized it, and I was like, well, I don't want to bind this copy. So anyway.
That would have been really cool.
Yeah, I'm going to still do it, but at some point.
Well, since Kevin hasn't published a book yet, I won't recommend his book. But I would recommend.
It's working on it.
Yeah, soon. Are we talking about the one the one that we're going to do together?
The coffee table book.
Oh, the coffee table book. I forgot about that. Absolutely. The one that I would recommend is The Gulf Stream Chronicles by David Lee. He's my favorite all-time author, and that's the only book that he published. So the guy is such a good writer and loved turtles, but I would read anything that he wrote. It's so funny and so good. And he had me reading about the Gulf Stream, which is not something I ever thought I would.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, I only care about turtles, as you guys obviously know.
Yeah. Well, that was turtle or non-turtle. So, okay. Dream turtle to own. For me, probably a radiated. I want one so bad. For the center, not for me. But
I almost named them when you asked for overrated.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But they're not though. But they're terrific. So they're not. It's just crazy to me how popular something could be when it's like on the ESA and so many of them are produced. There's like never a lack of people who want them. Even people up north where it's like, really, you're going to dedicate all of that to keeping this animal happy when you could just keep these smaller animals that like the cold.
Hot takes, but
yeah, this is tough.
I don't know what.
What was that?
Chinese big-headed turtle.
Platysternum
Platysternum.
Ooh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's a good one.
Riverine.
Yeah,
I already have
I
in my
don't.
head how I want to set it up.
Yeah, I
Anthony is a
don't know
radiator
what.
hater.
I really don't know what mine would be right now. I feel like I've collected so many of there's like Graptomus gibbonsii is the only map turtle I don't currently have that I'm looking to add at some point. I haven't identified that. I don't really know what this one would be. I know what it used to be. Like ringed map turtles for a while were the thing, and then somebody gave me 3 of them. Gerard, you crazy fool, you. Right? Like
Classic.
love the man, right?
Oh.
And then, then all of a sudden I have how many Cicalia now, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, I think probably 5-10 years ago I would have said like Vijay Kelly's Sylvatica or something like that. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I think now it would probably be just something different, like a different take on something that I already love, like the dumb head Kwangtung river turtles with the macrocephalic Kwangtungs, or Hainan Island Spangleri, or things like that are just like a different spin on something that I already love. Probably because I don't think there's anything out there that I want that I don't have that I need to have or should have. I don't know anymore.
All right. So if you could go on vacation tomorrow to visit a turtle in the wild, specifically to see a turtle in the wild, what turtle do you want to see? And Kevin, I feel like I know the answer, but
I'm going to Georgia to see Barber's map turtles.
Wow.
okay.
What a world traveler.
Yeah. You can go anywhere.
You know how much I love them. And then
Yeah.
after that, I'm going to Vietnam to see Spangleri or Hainan Island or somewhere around there. But
Yeah.
Classic.
So
Georgia.
I'm a 2-trick pony.
Oh, okay. Where, Kevin?
I'm a 2-trick pony. The goal one would be, Aldabra Atoll, but I don't think I'll ever make it to that island.
Yeah.
One day in my life, I'll go to Seychelles and see them walking around, but Aldabra Atoll would be the place. But my other love is terrapins. And fortunately, in April, I don't know how much I can talk about it, but I'll be doing a little bit of a trip, and I'll be along some coastline, potentially might come across them.
Ooh, all right.
You can talk about it. Why not? I mean,
Well, this is your project, so you should end it with that then.
I don't know what to say, but we're gonna go. We're gonna do a turtle. So I need an idea for the title of the book, and I think with the group of people that are going, I'll probably be able to figure it out. But
I really wish I could go.
we're driving from northern Florida, from the coast all the way to Los Angeles in 8 days. So it's like a turtle cannonball run, which Cannonball Run was from Connecticut, by the way, right near where you live, where you and I both live, Kevin, and Emily too. Actually, we all live in that area. It started in I think Darien, Connecticut, and went to LA. It's like that race where like you don't stop to like do anything and you make it across the coast as fast as you can. It's like 20 hours or something from Connecticut to LA. So anyway, we're doing that in 8 days, and we're going to try to encounter as many turtles as we can in the wild only. And then I'm going to write a book about the trip. So that's the goal. We'll see how it goes. It's a lot of pressure, but that's happening.
I really
in
wish
April.
I could participate some way.
Well,
Such a rotten time of year for me.
You can participate somehow. I just don't know how yet. Yeah, that'll be really interesting. So, and that, what that came from was this question, Emily, is if you could go anywhere, where would you go? And then you get real excited. And for me, it was like, I had an opportunity to go to China. I didn't go in 2019. Oh, you can go next year. Okay, well, we know that wasn't going to happen in Shanghai in 2020. But like all these places I want to go all over the world to see turtles, but I haven't even been all over this world in terms of like, we're in a huge biodiversity hotspot in North America. And it's really not that big of a deal to get down to Georgia, as Steve said, as much as I like to make fun of him. Like, Georgia's a pretty darn cool place to go see turtles, as is Florida and Alabama and Mississippi and Texas. So that's the idea, is like, know what you know. You don't have to be the Asian turtle person if you live in Connecticut. You could be just a turtle person and kind of check out what's around you.
So just in response to Dawson, I'm actually trying to go hopefully in the fall to the Galapagos, and I'm going to try to see some Galapagos tortoises. So that is my list. And
the big iguanas too?
Yeah.
Oh, I actually really want to see the blue-footed boobies. That is the top.
Oh
of my
yeah, they're
list.
cool too.
Yeah.
So much great wildlife in the Glaps.
Bob
That's a
Krau-
bucket list destination.
Bob Krause and Ralph Till are there right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Do
they-
you
In
know
fact-
if they used a tour guide or just?
I know
I-
somebody who leads tours every couple years in January
Yeah.
down there.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm
Russ
going to
Burke?
ask you after because, gentlemen, we are
Russ
still in
and Tom
rapid round.
and Thomas, yeah.
No, we're not. We're not in rapid round.
Yeah, favorite
Dog-
guest from the Pondcast from 2023. How about
Oh my
that one?
gosh.
Oh
Wow.
yeah,
Maurice.
It's a hot seat. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
See, I was quick that time.
Silent.
I just went with the last guest. That was awesome.
I know. Now I'm stealing. I don't even remember what I had for breakfast this morning. Yeah, I can't think of one other than Maurice that really stands out to me. I felt like his was just one that like the people really responded really, really well to.
Yeah, I know. Thank you, Charlie. They are going rogue. I'm trying my hardest here.
That's really funny. Dawson, if you want to learn how to publish a book, speaking of going rogue, slide into my DMs, yo.
Yeah, and Chris was on board too. Maurice was really good. Yeah.
I don't have a specific guest, but episode 100 with everybody I thought was my
That
favorite
was
one.
That's what I
fun.
was gonna say too. Yeah, I think that was the best one because there were so many people and we just kept going. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that rapid fire was awesome.
Yeah, good.
Yeah,
I'm glad you liked
that's-
it. That was my last one. I just had some like closing remarks, like what are you guys most looking forward to in 2024?
that.
What
Emily,
projects do you have planned?
I love that. You were terrific. You need to run this more often and keep us in
Yeah.
check. It was
All right, I'll do
terrific
my
because it
best.
goes on these little tangents, which are really fun.
Mhm.
But as long as you don't let it get too sidetracked, and I'm not saying you, I'm saying us because we're the ones sidetracking it.
Mhm.
It's pretty great.
Yeah. Well,
You know?
Kevin, I'm so glad you did that. I've been wondering what was on your shirt this whole time for like the last hour,
Sorry.
22 minutes. I was like,
That's
"Mm,
our-
that's a turtle."
That's one of our
Turtle
10th
Room shirt.
anniversary
Yeah.
year shirts.
Oh, is it?
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this one a lot.
Is that still
I
available?
have 9 of them because of all the mistakes that
Yep.
happened.
Well, that is all the questions that I have for you, gentlemen. So
That was awesome.
thank
Great
you for
job,
playing.
Billy.
And
Yeah, thank you for doing this.
Thank you to everyone for participating in the chat too. That was cool to hear your responses. Yeah.
So we've had some unique formats to a couple different shows during the past calendar year. I like it. We had that Wild 100th, which was awesome, and this was really great too. Let's keep coming up with stuff like this. I like it.
Yeah. This was fun.
It's terrific.
Yeah.
Kevin, before we go, what are you most excited about seeing on the trip across the country in April?
You know what? Honestly, this is going to sound stupid, but no specific animal. I'm really most excited just to spend like 8 days with you guys going around, being out in field work. The one day we were in Pennsylvania was awesome until we got flooded out within 10 seconds. So I'm really excited to do that. I don't really enjoy road trips. I've done it a few times. I've driven to California and back. So I don't like the actual car aspect, but everything else I'm insanely excited for.
Yeah, it's kind of stupid to do because when you think about it, the majority of the people aren't field people. It would make for a really good like reality show or like documentary type thing or whatever where you're following people because it's going to get ugly. Like when you're in the car for 37 hours with no traffic, it would be 37 hours of driving. So about 5 hours a day, every day for 8 days, bookmarked by 2 plane rides. And I don't know about you, but if you've ever been a 400-pound, 7-foot man, plane rides are not fun, especially when you probably smell like death, like we will, and like I will.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then there's the field part, but we're not field people. Like when we went last April, we were visiting field people in their habitat, so to speak, right? So so to do that for 8 days, I think there's going to be a lot of pressure on the other Kevin, who's the field person, who's going to hold it down. But it's gonna get interesting. I just want to ask questions and observe. And I don't want to get too crazy. So if you want to just jump in and be
I
crazy,
want to
that'd be
get
great.
dirty.
Yeah, go ahead. I mean, I
bringing-
want to get dirty too. Like I'm gonna, if your privates get wet, then it counts as swimming. And I'm definitely planning on swimming in every place. That's right. When you're like walking in the water, if it's just like mid thigh,
Sure.
that's not swimming. It's like up to your
I'm
knee.
bringing my
It's not
snorkel.
swimming.
I'm bringing big waders. I'm going into this.
Yeah. So that's going to
cool.
be crazy. So hopefully we get a lot of, I mean, and what's interesting and you know, we'll see how it goes because we're just in the planning phases right now. We've been in the planning phases for a whole year already, but what'll be really interesting to see, like you held up my other book. Like, am I actually in 8 days of just hanging out going to be able to write an entire book just from that 8 days? That's kind of a big thing, you know.
It's a tall order.
So
do a vlog.
It's going to be interesting.
So I'm going to be recording all day,
Yes.
as you know, and I think you should use the video recorder on your phone.
Yeah.
Not video, I'm sorry, the audio recorder, and just keep that open. So like at any point you could just like say a thought or record like other people talking, and you know, and you can dwell back on that.
Yeah. Absolutely. I'll be just taking like basically writing an outline the whole time, I think. And then while we're driving, I could probably plug away and write a chapter or two here or there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because we'll have that time. I can write pretty fast. Anyway, I didn't mean to go off this whole tangent or anything, but that'll be a really fun thing. No, good question. They do make waders, but it's tough to figure them out and they're expensive. And so I've never bitten the bullet, or however that phrase should say, and jumped into the waders, pun intended. But I basically just like go swimming. So if we go out, even if it's April and it's really cold, everyone's wearing their waders to go out for wood turtles in the freezing water, and I have hiking boots and shorts on, and I just act like I'm supposed to be there. So April in Texas and Alabama and Florida, that's going to be a dream because I've been doing this up north in the spring and fall.
Yeah. Freezing.
When it's really cold.
Yeah.
We've had some really warm days in March and April though.
But that water isn't warm.
Yeah.
When it's 80 degrees out, it doesn't really matter.
Right.
That's March. Doesn't matter, which was last March. Like, it was insane. But all right, so real quick, calendars.
We have calendars.
Coasters.
Calendars. Make it happen.
Yeah, get them.
No excuses. Play like a champion. Dawson will probably be going through Houston, but we might take a little detour to go up towards Dallas to see some stuff. But we'll see.
Are we meeting up with Texas Turtles?
Well, I didn't want to throw that out there. That's something we've talked about, but it's not set in stone yet what the exact plan is. But we're working on all that right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Dawson, what part of Texas are you in? I'm going to be in Texas next week. Just saying. Tell your friends.
Wait.
A state that's bigger than the Northeast.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm going to Texas too. Where are you going, Anthony?
Really? I'm going to Dallas.
Wait, I'm going to Dallas.
When? Want to get something?
Month.
Oh, okay. I'm going next week.
Okay.
Yeah. I was thinking of you, Chris Drake, but obviously know that you're in Houston. Yeah. So, okay, awesome. See, that's the thing. Texas is the size of a country.
Yeah.
And
or Europe as a whole.
Yeah, seriously. Craziness. So yeah, I oversee training for my company for like the whole company now, and for this one big program, and I help the trainers like organize them and help, which is a little bit scary from the organized standpoint, but communicate with them and support them. And there's so many in Texas and so many places, and I always embarrass myself because I'm used to the Northeast where it's like, you know, a drive from one city to another is like 15 minutes here. A drive from one city to another within Texas is like a day.
Couple hours.
Yeah. Crazy. Anyway. Well, thanks, guys. This has been a really fun episode. I really appreciate, Emily for taking the lead and just for being here and being a part of our team. You're so wonderful. And
thank you.
yeah, and just all you guys, I appreciate you, everyone who tuned in. Thank you so much. This community is, I really do believe, and going back to the handbrake thing, like you come for the animals, but you stay for the people. And I love all the different podcasts that are out there, including the Pondcast, and how we have this community of people who, you know, we were able to know and communicate with and build relationships with, both in person and online. So Charlie says Emily should be in charge.
We agree, Charlie.
He's not wrong.
We agree.
He's not
Thanks,
wrong.
Charlie. Yeah.
Thanks, Chaz. I love you.
Well, thanks, guys. Thanks, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. And thank you for participating. And if there were any hot takes that you didn't agree with, don't hold anyone accountable to them. I did not prepare them ahead of time, and it was rapid fire. They had their feet to the fire. So, all right.
That's what made it awesome.
Yeah.
1,000 sliders.
All right. Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye.